Welcome to HFY Stories. Please subscribe to the channel. Your one click means the world to me. The flagship's hyperspace core coughed 17 times and stayed dark. Beyond the forward glass, the stars had vanished. Hands struck dead controls. Orders bounced across a bridge that still had air, heat, and weapons, yet could not move an inch. Somewhere outside, the other ships were trapped in the same black. Then a voice slipped through speakers that had rejected every outgoing call. "You were offered a path away," it said. "Every turn after that was yours." The commander, clutching the rail, finally understood that escape itself had been part of the design. Hours earlier, High Harvester Varric had believed Earth would be easy prey. His Quan fleet entered human space by the hundreds, built for the old work his species had perfected across generations. Strip industry, seize populations, leave nothing useful behind. Human defenses looked thin on his map. Patrol stations, civilian colonies, scattered warships. A scarred patrol vessel, HSS Resolute, challenged them first. Commander Alina Ward asked for identity and purpose. Varric gave neither comfort nor diplomacy. "We came to take what your worlds contain," he told her. "Resistance only changes who is collected first." The reply was short. Alina closed the channel and sent an alert through human territory. Varric mistook the silence that followed for fear. At New Horizon, he learned his first lesson. The settlement looked civilian because it was civilian. Farms under domes, factories, transports, a modest orbital station. Yet Station Commander Daniel Reyes activated a buried defense protocol. Ground hatches split open. Drones rose from concealment. Disguised satellites pivoted. Kinetic rounds punched into Quan hulls before Varric's crews understood what they were tracking. Then the colony launched a dense missile storm from underground silos. 73 ships vanished from Varric's count. The bridge changed around him. Officers who had been trading estimates in relaxed voices now leaned over their consoles without speaking. Damage requests stacked faster than crews could route them. One cruiser asked permission to withdraw. Another stopped transmitting halfway through a report. Varric stared at the casualty board. If this is only a settlement, where did they put their real fleet? His officer had no answer. That absence bothered him more than the losses. New Horizon had not defeated the invasion. It had merely shown what humans considered an acceptable civilian defense. A black vessel appeared behind them. Its identification resolved only after repeated scans. HSS Dominion. Varric ordered concentrated fire. Plasma, missiles, particle beams, mass rounds, everything struck the space around the human ship and ceased to matter. The Dominion answered with precise blue pulses. Quan cruisers dropped from the tactical picture in groups. Alina's voice came over the channel again. "Leave while you still have ships able to carry survivors." Varric refused. He had captured 3 human transports, and he put civilians on camera. "You stop," he said, "or they pay for your next shot." The engineer nearest the camera smiled. That smile disturbed Varric more than shouting would have. A warning erupted behind him. The captured transports opened internal bays. Dormant systems woke. Swarms of drones burst outward from inside the Quan formation, striking engines and weapons at knife-close range. The prisoners had not been helpless cargo. Their ships had carried sleeping military hardware. Quan captains broke formation. Varric expected the Dominion to pursue. It did not. That was worse. "They want witnesses," he murmured. Soon human warships arrived in numbers his scouts had never reported. Destroyers, carriers, cruisers, dreadnoughts. Instead of burning Quan crews alive, they disabled drives, guns, and shields with unnerving control. Varric demanded an explanation. Alina answered, "Power is easy. Choosing exactly where it stops is harder." The humans opened a corridor. Varric took it. That decision brought him back to the starless black, where his engines now lay dead. Lights appeared around the trapped fleet. Concealed platforms, ancient stations, weapon structures by the thousand. Humanity had hidden an entire defensive region outside ordinary navigation. Alina contacted him once more. "You entered armed. You attacked civilians. Now surrender your weapons and let boarding teams come aboard." Varric chose one last attack. The Quan fired. For an instant, missiles and glowing bolts crowded the black outside. Then everything stopped. Warheads hung motionless beyond the hulls. Beams collapsed before reaching their targets. The bridge crew watched their own attack suspended outside like debris trapped behind glass. A pulse rolled from the concealed installation. Console after console died under Varric's hands. Across the fleet, gun systems locked, drive cores fell idle, and navigation vanished. Life support remained untouched. That detail cut deepest. Humanity was not failing to finish them. Humanity was choosing not to. Varric's pride finally met a fact it could not intimidate. Before he could surrender, an alarm sounded beneath the fleet. A signal climbed out of the darkness. The human ships stopped moving. Their weapons rotated away from the disabled Quan vessels and toward the signal below. For the first time, Varric heard urgency in Alina's voice. "Kill every system you can. The thing below is responding to Quan technology." A vast skeletal machine rose into view, wrapped around a luminous core. Symbols across its surface belonged to stories older than the Quan state itself. "First harvesters." The machine pulsed. Quan vessels turned without orders, their guns aimed at humanity. Control codes failed, fleet networks ignored their own captains. Across every display appeared a translated command. Harvesting was to resume. Varric felt the truth like cold metal under his claws. His people had spent centuries imitating ancestors they barely remembered. Now the original machine saw the modern Quan not as heirs, but as usable material. "Help us," he said. Alina's face stayed hard. "You crossed into our homes to do this exact thing." Varric looked at ships that no longer obeyed him. "Then help the worlds it will reach after ours." A distant star dimmed as the machine drew its energy away. Human weapons rotated onto the ancient structure. Varric watched targeting icons that had covered his own fleet disappear. No treaty had been signed. No forgiveness had been offered. The humans had simply found a greater threat and moved to stop it. He ordered every Quan captain who still had manual control to follow their firing plan. Energy fire only strengthened the machine, so Alina changed the attack to mass. Rail projectiles hammered open its shell. The Dominion drove a compact black device into the exposed core. When the device collapsed the energy inward, the first harvester went dark without a conventional blast. For 3 seconds, Varric thought the nightmare was finished. Then red markers began appearing across the galactic map. 10 hundreds, thousands. More than 12,000 ancient systems were waking. The destroyed machine had not been the network. It had been one node. Alina and Varric traced the signals toward a structure surrounding a dying star at the galaxy's edge. A factory producing more harvesters. Other civilizations answered the emergency call: the Terralan Union, the Viscari Republic, the Arctan Worlds, and many more. Old rivals formed a temporary fleet because extinction made pride expensive. They reached the factory and found something larger emerging from it, a warship spanning thousands of kilometers. Its first volleys erased command vessels. Alina changed the battle before the enemy could decapitate it. "No central traffic," she ordered. "Break into independent groups, short-range links only." The formation fragmented. Human fighters struck weapon nodes. Quan cruisers attacked propulsion. Allied ships tore at sensors and armor. Damage finally spread across the ancient hull. Then its central chamber opened. Gravity pulled ships toward it. The Dominion and Quan craft drove straight into the danger, using maintenance passages preserved in ancient Quan records. Boarding teams reached a chamber surrounding a living sphere of light. The intelligence inside called itself the Architect. It told Varric his ancestors had been made for harvest. Then it addressed Alina. Humanity was not assigned for collection. Alina's weapon lowered a fraction. Then what were we assigned to do? "Observe." Varric watched her expression change, not to relief but offense. The Architect continued. Humanity had broken its expected role by interfering. Alina brought her weapon back on target. "Then your prediction failed." The assault could not break the core. Outside, Allied ships were being destroyed faster than replacements could arrive. Alina suddenly ordered every fleet to stop firing. The Architect interpreted the silence as surrender. She transmitted the Allied positions. Varric stared at her. "You are giving it targets." I'm giving it a decision. Across the galaxy, the Harvester network aligned on those coordinates. Energy gathered through thousands of linked machines. The architect issued its attack. The Allied fleet vanished into synchronized human teleportation, corridors a heartbeat before the strike arrived. Empty space took the fire. Then the corridors reversed. The network's own energy slammed backward through its connections. One harvester failed, then another. Red signals blinked out in waves. The factory shook. The architect tried to sever itself from the chain and discovered it was too late. Varric stood among wounded humans and Quan as the core weakened. The chamber floor trembled beneath his boots. One human soldier kept pressure on a Quan warrior's wound, while a Quan medic braced a human against the wall. Nobody had been ordered to do either thing. The architect asked Alina why she had protected people who had come to enslave her species. Her gaze moved across the mixed line of wounded soldiers and stopped on Varric. Because needing rescue is enough reason to rescue someone. The core went dark. Weeks later, Varric entered the Galactic Assembly without a High Harvester's ceremonial armor. Representatives from the Allied worlds watched Alina walk onto the speaking dais. The Assembly Prime credited humanity with saving everyone present. Alina answered with a small shake of her head. No single flag did that. Varric stepped forward when his turn came. The Quan harvesting fleets are finished, he said. No civilization will be taken by us again. Far from the chamber, HSS Resolute crossed a quiet border patrol route. A civilian trader approached the boundary, broadcast a peaceful identification, and received clearance. On the patrol bridge, warning lamps faded one by one, and the gun housings stayed closed as the little ship passed into human space.